Hey guys, today I want to talk about a common mistake that is made again and again after a breakup, and that is just incredibly unfortunate. The initial situation is as follows: you are in a no contact. Whether you've been on her case or walked away with your head held high and left her alone, it doesn't matter. You doubt that anything will happen from her side, and whether you get to it through the illusion of action or a set period of time, you write her again. Either with something manipulative, or you do purest cherry picking and hear, for example, from my videos only what you want to hear. You seriously think that you are able to assess their interest correctly and react accordingly. So again, you break the no contact and write to her. It doesn't matter if after 1 or 6 months nothing came from her, she did not make the first step, or at least she did not write with enough interest to justify this step from you. Roughly speaking, you think you are smarter than you are. But a miracle happens and she is friendly and reasonably open to you. She even agrees to a meeting. So, you think you've just hit the jackpot and you're 1 in 1,000 where this works. You have caught exactly the right moment and created your own chance. This happened to someone who wrote to me shortly before this meeting, which is why I just found out about it. I won't go into details, but from his point of view it looked really good, and if I didn't know better, I would have probably judged it the same way. Do you want to guess what happened? The meeting itself was great, and it can be the same for you. You can still heed all the tips that I give in several videos on the subject: beautiful, happy atmosphere, no talk about the failure of the relationship, show yourself from your best side, set yourself a time limit, so that no unpleasant silence can arise, but it is really seen purely positively, and approach everything yourself as a date, without perhaps declaring it so. Things like that. But that's all petty shit if it's not done and planned under the top rule: she must be interested, and that must be big enough to get in touch with it. She has to wait for the question of a meeting and immediately jump at it when you suggest it. If it comes out of nowhere and she is neutral about the whole thing, yes, then she will probably let you invite her for a free coffee, and she will get everything from you on a silver platter, which she would normally have to find out on her own, if she were interested. There is a huge difference if she is really open to find out everything and is hanging on your every word, or if she is meeting you as a friend and you have a backhanded plan to win her back. Even if you plan it in a smart way and she doesn't notice your hope, you watch out for signs, you develop strategies to show her how you have developed, it's all worth nothing if she doesn't have this inner feeling from the beginning that you can possibly trigger strong feelings in her again. That's what this is all about. It almost doesn't matter what happened or in what direction you developed. Only stagnation is bad. Should you be able to trigger feelings in her again, which works through her interest and then through attraction, then nothing stands in the way, depending on the strength of the feelings. But if the interest is not there and you somehow convince her or manage to get her to make a statement at the meeting such as, "Yes, what nice, let's do it again," then afterward she fights with her own doubt, which was there the whole time. It may not have been noticeable at the moment of the meeting because it can actually go well. But afterwards, she faces several problems that may not even be problems for her. First, the interest that wasn't there before, if it is there now, was sparked by you. And if it did not come from her, then a residual doubt remains in her. She would have gotten rid of it before she contacted you. Then the interest would have been much stronger than this doubt. This is the indicator you can rely on. Everything else doesn't really convince them. This is not a rational decision, it is a feeling, and that is always above everything with women. And with men in this situation to 99% also. Secondly, with the action to write to her, you have signaled that you cannot do without her, or she must do nothing to get attention from you, which goes so far that you want to spend your time with her. Does this automatically make everything worth less to her again? Third, you have no idea about her current circumstances and thoughts. There could be a new guy in the game, she could have stress or somehow not be able to concentrate 100% on you. She would if the bond would strike in her and she would miss you. Or let's say, if she at least didn't know exactly what was up with you and she had to do more than look at pictures on Instagram for tidbits of information. If she had to keep stalking and sacrificing her time for it or writing to you directly. Right now that's not the case, and that fact alone can break you and your ex back game, because nothing else is in that case. It is a gamble. And the second try is usually blocked by bigger separation hurdles on their part than the first one. Therefore, don't mess up your first chance, it might be the only one. Where did I stop? After the meeting? It doesn't have to go well, and in very many cases it is a pure disaster because you are not in control. The no contact is usually broken relatively soon after it starts. 1 to 2 months after. And I'm really talking about a no contact and not you sitting around doing nothing or thinking that you were blocked and thinking about the ex every day would be a no contact. That's a waste of time. And this short time in it will not have brought you enough success yet. Neither have you developed positively in the long term. You may see some initial results, but that's about it, nor do you have that inner peace that you would need to really be able to deal with your ex when you meet. You are always happy when there is a positive response when you ask for a meeting. So, if you want her back. But without self-control, the hope you get from it is inflated, and that quickly leads you to act emotionally when she is in front of you. This can turn negative from one moment to the other, if there is only one sentence said that triggers problems in the past or reminds her of the past and you can't maneuver it out of there, because you yourself react affected or want to justify yourself. But let's say it went well. Now you go home and be happy, and she goes home and processes that. Maybe she'll talk to someone about it, maybe she'll worry about it, maybe she'll hop into bed with the new guy she didn't tell you about. What do I know? And what do I know sums it up pretty well, because you don't know either. You have an expectation of her now, and you shouldn't have it. It makes you needy towards her. You look at the clock and wait for her to get back to you. But why should she? You did it last time. Even if we think about it in a positive way, there is always this doubt, and she is in the wrong position in the relationship between the two of you. That of the supplicant who provides time for her and keeps himself free so that he can meet her. Not even necessarily visible to her, but you are waiting in your reality for her to come of her own accord, and the illusion of action has already caught you once. What can you expect after the meeting? That there will be much less investment from her side than would have been the case if she had contacted you on her own. Possibly none at all. In the case I have in mind, the meeting was classified by the ex as friendly, and she had no desire to do so, because I quote, the separation was still too fresh. So the good feeling that he had was based on the assumption that the two were getting closer again. She wanted to push him into the friend zone, but even that was too soon for her, despite a nice meeting. Conclusion: no attraction. Where should it come from without real interest? That was already the reason why she didn't stay with him. But the point is that nobody can look into the ex's head and we can interpret as much as we want. She can think the complete opposite and have completely different reasons for her behavior. We can't care about it. That's where we need to get to. I keep warning not to make the mistake, but sometimes you think you are the exception to the exception, and the effect that your environment and especially your attachment to your ex has on you confirms it to you so much that you can't fight it anymore. Neither from the outside, nor yourselves from the inside. On the other hand, thank you for giving me updates every now and then about how a discussed situation turned out, even if you didn't have coaching or we only had short email contact. Especially in that case, it hopefully helps again some other people to keep the focus on themselves and not to break the no contact because of a desired opportunity. And of course I am even happier when I hear the success stories after a longer period of time. Be that now on the topic of letting go or ex back. Take care, and until the next video.